Hey, what's up, guys? This is Worse, and this is Trav,
It's me as always.
and this is Kolyn,
What's that?
comic book extraordinaire, and we're back with a spoiler discussion.
That's gonna be his title, comic book extraordinary. I like him under his
Yeah,
name.
and
And big Batman fan.
yeah, Batman
I'm
v
actually wearing my
Superman,
Batman shirt under this, so it
Dawn of
fits.
Justice, and this will be just us talking about different subjects that we couldn't talk about.
Complete spoiler discussion
and then-
finally, because I feel like in this movie there's like so much, like
To
so
go in
many
depth
of the,
about.
so many of the
Yeah.
good and bad points are right in spoiler territory. I've never actually had a movie where it's
I don't know.
that
I don't
intense,
know.
like where you have to talk about spoilers to really.
Other
give
than
your
Force
opinion.
Awakens. I mean,
Yeah, but
we had to do
because that was really rough to do a no spoilers review.
Han dies, everyone.
Oh yeah, spoiler. But yeah, okay. But let's start with Ryan. Like, what? Let me see. What can we talk about?
Well, everyone already knows I didn't really care for this movie, but
Yeah.
I don't like saying it because it makes
Because
me
like you
feel
want
like
to love the movie. You
I
want
want to-
you
I
want
wanted
to.
I think we all wanted to truly
Like
embrace
love-
this and love
Yeah.
this movie.
Like I said in my in the non-spoilers, is that rather you love it or you hate it, the DC universe, movie universe is launched, the cinematic universe is here, and I'll just go ahead and start. Like how they introduced the Justice League, the characters that are going to be in the Justice League, I thought was really well done. Like Bruce Wayne to have like a folder. I actually forgot, how did he actually discover that?
It was actually Diana actually had it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, she
Well,
had it, and she sends him all this information. He starts typing on the computer. He's like, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" He sees that old picture of her, and she's like in like.
And then I like how
the
like she's the
1800s.
one that actually watched the rest of the video. So at first he just like looked at Wonder Woman because he was so curious because he knew of her, and I love that look on his face when he sees like her. I think it was 18 something, like 1800 or something.
Yeah,
when she's,
somewhere in
like,
there.
standing
Something like-
there. The look on his face is, holy crap, you're ancient. Like, it's just like, I am attracted to this really old woman. Like, she's really old. And, and Gal Gadot, you look good. I mean, she's in, she did a really good
she's one of my
Wonder Woman.
favorite parts. I mean,
Um,
and I didn't think that would happen at all.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I was
she's
like,
coming off of
I
like a
grew up
side
with
character on the Fast and Furious franchise, and then she just like, and she's just takes this role and does as well. We didn't really talk about it in the non-spoilers review, but so in the spoilers, I mean, this isn't really like a spoiler anyway, but what did you guys think of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor? Because I really like him.
Ryan.
I hate him entirely. Like, there's nothing.
It's kind of like
there's nothing about his character that I like at all.
It's kind of
I
like
mean,
he was a big nerd, mad scientist, but people say like, oh, he's rather like a nerd or just too over the top. But I just felt like I don't know, like we haven't really had anything like that really. I guess since like Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, he's kind of like, I don't know. And,
Well, Heath Ledger's Joker was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
and an awesome character.
and I understand people are like, Jesse Eisenberg is awkward or whatever. I don't know. I really liked it. I mean, this was a different look adaptation of Lex Luthor to me, and I really liked it. I mean,
I wasn't a doubter of Eisenberg, like when he was first announced as Lex Luthor. Of course, I was like, okay.
I was really worried.
What?
I was like, and I was worried.
And I wasn't
about
worried
Gal-
at all. And then all of a sudden, it's like, okay, right.
And I was worried about Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I was really concerned. Like, she's just a model and she's going to be Wonder Woman, but she did really well. Colin, what did you think of Lex Luthor?
Honestly, coming from a comic book perspective and being somebody like I haven't really read a lot of Superman, but I do know the like history of the character, and I know like his mannerisms and the way he acts and what he's after. And honestly, I have to agree with Ryan as far as the comic book counterpart. I can understand them doing their own interpretation of the character and things like that, but that's just it. It goes back to what he was saying. He was trying to be the Joker. And Lex Luthor and the Joker are two totally different villains in the DC universe. The Joker is all about madness and chaos, and just the randomness of it. Lex Luthor is a power-hungry, egocentric madman
And
that
that's
basically...
and with his crazy over-the-top acting, that's kind of what I got, though. That's what I wanted with Lex Luthor.
Well, with you saying that that's what you liked or what you wanted, I mean, I don't know what I wanted because I'm just like, okay, this character is going to be in this movie.
It's just that we've
so it's
seen
just
the
like,
series
so I'm like,
Lex
okay, I'm
Luthor
gonna
before.
have to tolerate this character for this long. No thanks, because all of it fell into like, oh, crazy psychotic madman. That's fine if you're trying to pull that role off. But it for me, it leaned way more into annoying character that I didn't want to watch. That's what I got.
And as a side note, he did have some good parts. Like, I mean, the part like when he's telling Superman that, you know, you will fly to him, you will battle him.
Yeah.
You know,
Threatening
fight
his
night.
mother.
You know,
They
threatening
had his
it. You know,
mother.
the threatening part that was Lex Luthor. But the whole the red capes are coming.
Yeah.
The red capes are coming, and
what,
all that.
Would it have been cooler to see a really smooth dialogue, like bald guy, like maybe Bryan Cranston or somebody say, you know, really menacingly say, well, "I've got your mom," you know, and he's really serious. That would have been better. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
I like a lot better. And Bryan Cranston was considered.
And
for
Lex Luthor, another thing that they didn't do very well is that he's crazy and he's power hungry, but most of the time he tries to hide that by being a respectable businessman in society. He tries to cloak himself as if he is really the good guy and Superman is the villain, because his whole thing is kind of goes in with in the comics. It goes in with the tie of the movie is that the world sees Superman as a villain, and he sees Superman as somebody that could destroy the whole planet if he wanted to. And he's also jealous of Superman because he wants to, like I said, he has an ego problem. So like Superman does things that he physically cannot. So when people are, you know, embracing Superman in the comics, I'm saying, not in the film, but in the comics, like when they're embracing Superman and seeing all the good that he can do, and his ego is higher than him, like I'm not saying Superman has an ego, but like people seem to love him more than they do Lex. He cannot stand that. Lex cannot stand that. And honestly, I just wish that Lex in the film would have been a lot more serious, because that's the essence of the character. He has such a big ego that it's like that's what makes him crazy. Is he's willing to sacrifice his ego and power to do it. Like he'll do anything to get it. That's it. That's what makes him scary.
You think they're building more towards, like, with him in prison and all that, do you think we're building more towards, like, a more mature, like, Lex role
like
after, like, maybe, you know?
Possibly. The two things that I got from it is they're either going to do one of two things. The filmmakers are either going to realize their mistake and make this Lex Luthor Jr., and that's not the real Lex, or they're going to mess up and just keep rolling with the madness and making him like the Joker, which he's not. Yeah, he shouldn't be, in my opinion. He shouldn't be, but like I said, every film has their own interpretation of the character. I'm open to change for characters, but to me, he didn't do it.
Well, it was. I think it met in the middle for me, because the scene I really liked is like with Lex being in the prison cell, and then like Batman has come to brand him that, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. Like they made Batman legitly scary.
Oh yeah.
The lighting, because it was dark, but not all the way dark right there when he's standing there, and it's just you could tell Lex is really scared.
The opening scene with him when the cops break into that warehouse.
That guy's shaking
there's all
with
these
the gun.
there's all these I don't want to call them captured women that are being sold as slaves. They're all scared, and the cops are like, "It's okay, we're here to help. We're here to help." And that they're trying to open the door to let him out, and they're like, "No, like keep us in here." And they they're walking up the stairs, and it's dark, and you know he's in there. You know he's in there.
Suspense is really well done.
Yeah,
like, not showing Batman right away.
Yeah, you know he's in there, and like that's the first time I legitly as a fan, because I mean I've been a fan of this character since I was 5 years old. And this was the first time I actually felt afraid of him. I felt afraid of him.
They added a better fear element than I think they did with Batman Begins. Like, they built up Batman really well. The build-up to Batman and his story is really well done. The whole beginning is, like, his parents dying and stuff. I thought that was... I mean, we're seeing it happen again, but I thought it was really well done with it being the beginning credits to the movie. That was falls in the hole. But that was a dream sequence, though, because the bats carry him out. Ashley was just like, wait, what's going on? Like, it's like the bats were carrying him. It's like, oh, it's a dream. It's something that really happened to him, but he was having a dream. there was a lot of dream sequences and a lot of because people probably don't talk about this enough, but I actually was excited to see Kevin Costner come back as Superman's Earth
That was
dad.
another part that was actually really well done.
And
That's
I was
another
like,
positive.
I was
I'll
really
add to it.
curious. Like, I guess this is a dream. No, he's just seeing him. So there's a lot of stuff in there where you are confused until the end of the scene. Like, and I don't mind that in a movie. I like the mystery of figuring it out after it's over. Like, like the parademon scene. People didn't know what was going on. And it's like, well,
I had to help 4 or 5 people in the audience.
yeah. But what I don't like, this is a negative for me, is there's a scene with Bruce Wayne. He has like a vision within a vision. He woke up in a vision, and then he woke up again. That was a little cheesy. Like, it seemed like there was too much, like, it's like, I don't know. And people don't know, like, and I don't know how the Flash, like, was making that happen. Like, he was making him see into the future, like, about Darkseid coming and all this stuff. He woke up twice in a dream. It's kind of like where you wake up from a dream and then that's still a dream.
You know how the Flash came back to him, right?
I have no idea.
He actually, the Flash, for those of you who don't know, the reason Flash could, like, come back like that was because, like, he can run so fast that he can, like, go back in time or go forward,
sense,
one of the two. Like, he can tap into the Speed Force and go so fast that it allows him to do that.
There's just a couple moments with that moment I felt, that was a little cheesy, but other than that, I thought it was kind of cool, like a future member of the Justice League giving Batman these, because Batman's the only human in this. He's like the only guy that's actually just straight up human with just normal strength. He's Batman. So I thought there was a couple cheesy moments with that, but I don't know. Any more complaints?
My other complaint, and like I said this in the non-spoiler review, I'm open to change for characters, and I'm open to reinterpreting the characters and looking at new angles, because that's one of the beauties of comics, is that people always, different writers and different artists, deliver their own take on the character. And one of the biggest pet peeves I had, because I had no idea about this going into the film, was that Batman actually kills people. He straight up kills people. And in my own, fanboy interpretation of the character, Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah,
he always finds a way out of murdering people. He cannot stand it. Like, to even hold a gun, unless he absolutely has to, he hates holding a gun. Yeah. He absolutely hates it. And to see him, to see my favorite character, reach a point to where he's been so broken and people have been lost to him that he's willing to, he doesn't straight up just, I'm going to murder everyone.
Yeah, he doesn't, shoot somebody in the face.
But he's gotten to the point where he just doesn't care. He's gotten more vengeful.
Yeah.
And even though, like I said, that doesn't reach my idealized version of the character, it's still a neat angle to see a hero at his most broken. That's really what I got from it. And really, this goes into, you were saying the ending fight sequence. I'll touch on it later when we get to that. This movie really sees Batman and Superman in a struggling point. That's honestly what I got, the best positive thing from the film.
Because Superman himself is losing hope. He mentions many times, there's no good in this world anymore, because, and he tells Lois, I have to go fight him. Lex is making me bring Batman's head to him or they'll kill my mom. And it's and to me, and I guess, I don't know, we got most of the negatives out of the way. We could probably a little bit more of the spoiler positives, but that scene tugged at me, where it's he had photos of his mom, all strapped up and stuff, and it's he looks at him with red eyes, ready to just kill Lex.
Yeah, he's ready to pound him into the ground,
or whatever. And I felt that because we already grew with Superman, Clark, and his mom in Man of Steel. We really got hooked on the parents and all that. And so just to see her, it's an old lady. It's you're taking an old lady hostage, and it's and Lex knew who Superman was. You see the look on his face when he's Clark Kent, he's how do you know me? And it's and Superman also knew who Batman was as well. Yeah. Which I thought is really well done. Because isn't it in the Justice League, he always knew his name?
He actually, when they first meet, they don't first, in the, I'm basing it off the cartoon series, because that's another thing I grew up with, was the Bruce Timm animated series. Yes, I love that. he actually cheats. He actually uses his X-ray vision and actually looks behind Bruce Wayne's mask and figures out who Batman is.
Yeah, and he could hear him. You got the idea that he's learning who
that's another
he
thing.
could hear Alfred talking to him on his microphone.
He could hear. That's another thing. He could hear that.
I was like, very well, because it's right there.
They did a good job. That's another thing that he was talking about, thinking of the positives. They did a good job introducing the characters to the other characters' identities without having to straight up say, I'm really Bruce Wayne under here. I'm really Clark Kent under here. They figured it out using their superhero antics, which is in the comics.
Really
That's the way it's supposed to happen. That's what was supposed to happen.
And I like after that he flies over to Gotham and he's like, he's saying he's got to take his head and all this, but he's trying to talk Batman into siding with him. Like it took Batman to kick his butt, and then like all that happens, but he really wants to side with him. So it's like, it's like there's someone that we need to save, or you got to stop Lex Luthor. And I mean, I thought that was really well done, and the fight was really good. I mean, it was like to me.
Oh yeah.
To me, it was a little short. Like he said in the non-spoilers review, like it's not really about the fight, it's about their ideas, and they're versing each other in different ways through the movie, and that's what makes sense to me. But still, they're building it up to be this, and it was probably it felt like 5 minutes to me, and I mean, so it was a little short. And Colin, you agree, right, that it's a little short?
I feel like I think my biggest problem with the fight was, seeing Batman kick the shit out of Superman was like, I had a grin on my face the entire time. I was
Batman being wore out that he's having to fight this guy. Like you said, he was huffing and puffing when he hit the ground. All he did was push him slightly, and he goes flying, and
he's huffing and all that.
Yeah, he's having a hard time.
But the one thing I feel like they should have done, honestly, because I feel like the Superman fans kind of got cheated, was they should have let Superman beat on Batman a little bit more.
Well, he had a couple moments that were good, because when Batman sprayed him with kryptonite, spoiler, but he sprays him with kryptonite smoke, and I like how that looked too, because he's choking on it and he's having a problem breathing, and he's breathe it in, and it was really menacing.
Yeah.
I felt that was really well done. He's struggling with the kryptonite and all that, and then he slowly gets his powers back through the fight. And that's not even in the daytime. That's all. The sun is what powers Superman. It's powers and all that, and he's regenerating quickly at night in the rain. And I was just like, man, Superman he's really powerful. You really get to see what Superman is capable of against a human. That has kryptonite. And
after he gets a couple good hits on him, he's just he keeps welling on him, and his skin starts getting hard again.
I love those little moments where Superman had a grin, and then he's hitting him back, because he knows hey, you're messing with me, don't do that. So I really liked the fight. Batman already had a plan, and he's had that thing where he's swinging him around and all that. He had a trap set. He knew he was going to have to throw him down there and then fight him more, and have the kryptonite spear, which I thought was really cool. I kind of just wish this is going back to negatives, but I kind of wish it didn't take Lois Lane to run in there and say, hey, that's his mom's name, because Martha is both of their mother's names, and I didn't know that originally. Actually, I didn't know that.
And Ashley said that she didn't know that either.
And Colin, you probably knew that.
Yeah, well,
you probably knew that, but so I liked that a lot. That it took him to learn, hey, my mom's in trouble and her name's Martha, and it made Batman wake up. But I kind of feel like it was a little too soon for him to be oh, let's shake hands. I'm gonna go save your mom now. It didn't take because you would think it would take at least a little bit of a conversation, but it was pretty much right away I promise you your mom won't die tonight, and that was cool, but it was just a little too quick.
Yeah.
But
I think that's forgiven. Because that leads into the coolest part of the movie.
Yeah.
For me.
Honestly, though, what I think should have happened was, instead of pulling the Martha angle, which it was cool, that both of their mom's name it has the same name. But honestly, what I think all it would have taken was, instead of him saying that, this is just my opinion, but if we don't stop this, someone innocent is going to die, and it's going to be both our fault. I honestly think, in my opinion, that would have been enough to wake Batman up without having to scream, "That's my mom's name!" Like just
Like
saying
I said, I
someone.
kind of wish it was Superman that said like,
Yeah, an
"That's
innocent
my
woman.
mom,"
An
you know?
innocent woman is going to die. Like
Yeah.
if we don't stop this, an innocent woman will be killed. If we don't stop this.
Yeah. One thing that leads into the next part of the movie that I wanted to talk about is the big showdown at the end.
Oh yeah.
Doomsday. I thought that entire fight, I was grinning ear to ear. I was so fantastically done. Like, I feel like it felt epic to me. Like, the soldiers, the army themselves said, this thing can't be stopped. We gotta, like, nuke it. They
did nuke it.
Superman takes him into the air, and then they nuke both of them, and he's like, one of those casualties was Superman. We don't even know if he's alive anymore, but apparently it looked like some of his skin ripped off, and he had to heal in space before he could actually go back down. But yeah, so that was really well done. Like, I loved the whole Trinity fight.
Oh yeah. Seeing them on screen together. Oh yeah.
And I'm not even a big DC guy like this guy over here. But even I was fanboying, so I can only imagine DC fans going crazy.
Oh
like,
yeah, it was.
Wonder Woman
it was
looked
straight,
really good.
Yeah, it was straight
Superman,
out of the comics.
You know, like everything. Ryan feels like that maybe the CGI was a little off in some scenes.
It's only due to the fact. I mean, to me, the whole thing with Doomsday at the end. I mean, you're already like emotionally invested. For as much as you can be with Superman versus, actually versing Batman, and then it leads into pretty much the Arkham style fight of Batman.
When you actually get to see Batman kick ass.
Yeah.
And I'm already like kind of exhausted by that point.
Just like
so
Man
I
of
just
Steel,
kind of
everybody didn't
dragged
like
on
it.
too long.
Yeah.
and I did like Wonder Woman's interaction with Doomsday. That was probably my favorite part.
Oh yeah,
of
the smirk
Doomsday.
that she does when he hits her,
That
and
had
she's
to
just like, and she
Oh,
gets
yeah,
back
and
up.
the trailers
about-
lied to us. I thought it was going to be the shield that blocks the laser, and it was her, like, little wrist things. And so that's totally Wonder Woman. She has a whip and those. That is, like, right out of classic Wonder Woman stuff.
So that had to be my favorite part of the Doomsday, but everything else just felt like a CGI fest.
Yeah, they did add a little
just-
too much CGI.
Just CGI fest, and it's just kind of copying Man of Steel with his fight with Zod. Just quite a bit.
Because it was literally Zod.
It wasn't.
That's Zod. Doomsday
Well,
is Zod.
well, yeah. But
Actually, it was Zod. They used Zod's DNA, not
Yeah.
Zod himself.
Yeah,
They used the DNA.
which that whole concept of Doomsday, and then with Lex doing all that, I just didn't care for that at all.
Well, I think it's time we hit the nail on the head. What did you guys think of big time spoiler? If you've sat this long, honestly, you don't care. But I mean, what did you guys think of the death of Superman? This was the comic that I said in the non-spoiler that they tried to cram in at the very end.
I personally
And-
like it. If you guys have ever seen John Schnapp's Death of Superman Lives What Happened documentary, it's about, Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman, and he fights Doomsday, and he gets killed. So that was right out of the original script. They mashed Batman v Superman with this idea. Even though I didn't feel like Superman was like a main character because it was Batman and Superman's story, so it's kind of like that feeling of if you're gonna have, I don't know, like a lead protagonist die instead of like just one of the characters. I don't know, but I felt like it was okay because what I was scared of is that when he got stabbed through the heart, that he would just suddenly like heal up right there on the ground and then wake up, and it'd be the cliche like, "Oh, you're okay," and then he gets up. I like that they did the whole thing. They buried him. It's like you're just thinking like, how is he gonna come back? Like it's just that mystery of how is he gonna live through. I mean, I know that he can heal and all that, but I mean, how long would it take? And I mean, Ashley made a good
But to
point
the
about
comic book fans
Yeah.
that actually read the stories and have actually read this back in 4 or 5 when this came. I mean, I don't really know much about Superman, but in the 90s when this came out, the Superman Doomsday story arc, everybody knows that he's just in a healing coma. So, I mean, to the fans of this, I mean, I'm sure the fans of Superman had hit hard, but, like, to the people that know the story, we know he's coming back.
Yeah.
I mean,
we knew that because Justice League is coming. It's like they're gonna. I didn't know if it was gonna be in the next movie or like they'll have something at the very end, and they do. The coffin shakes. They don't actually like bury him. And I was actually kind of afraid, like, is it going to be a cheesy where he just, like, while they're, like, marching in the field, I was thinking he's going to bust out and fly away. But no, they actually, like, did a pretty cool, like, almost like the, it reminds me of Inception, where at the very end, the top, like,
See, that's
moves. It's like where
pretty
the
much-
coffin moves, and you see, like, the dirt move, because
Like,
Lois puts dirt on
I
his
like
coffin.
that you said, like, hey, the fans know there's a healing. I I didn't know that till you just now said that. So I literally I was just like, okay, he's dead. So okay, what? Even though at the end, Shay kind of
he's not in the comics. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in the film, but in the comics, he's not quote unquote dead.
But I mean,
he's in a
you might have enjoyed that more if you like remembered that he does heal. Like, I mean, he always heals up. But I mean, I was thinking, how is he going to heal up?
The thing with me is, I'm like, okay, if I am supposed to be excited for the Justice League and get for this to flow into the Justice League,
Superman supposed to be dead?
It's like, okay, Superman, what? Like, and I just through the whole him dying, I'm just like, okay, he's okay. He's okay.
Yeah.
What? And then I'm just like sitting through this emotionally weak. Like, it hit you how it was supposed to, but for me, it was just all just strange.
I'm just saying, with my opinion, I would have preferred that than anything like the cliche ideas. Because I think the coffin shaking at the end was a lot less cliche than what they could have done of, oh, he's alive. And, I think that to take down Doomsday, you kind of have to die. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, and that's a part of the original story. But, Colin, what do you think of his death overall?
Honestly, I mean, this goes back to what I was saying. Would you rather
seen him live or just whatever?
Honestly, what I think they should have done, like me being a comic book fan, was it took all three of these guys to bring Doomsday down. So I think, honestly, they should have beaten him. Because if you're a comic book fan, you know that you can only kill Doomsday once, one way at a time. Once you kill him one way, you can't kill him the same way twice. He comes back even stronger, and you have to find a new way to kill him each time you kill him. So what they should have done, and like I said, this is just my opinion. I mean, if you disagree or whatever, say it in the comments. But what they should have done was have the Trinity stop him, have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman stop him. And then, like, maybe in the next Man of Steel movie, next solo Superman movie, have Doomsday come back and have him be even stronger, and then have Superman fight him and let us get attached to Superman even more, and then kill him. Because if you would have put Superman by himself and then had at the very end of the movie he has to fight Doomsday, and then kill him off, that would have been a major gut punch to the audience, and it really would have sold us.
Yeah, but then people may have complained, well, then where's Batman and Wonder Woman? Aren't they supposed,
they also, another thing is that in the comic, before he goes and fights Superman, he tears right through the Justice League. He fights the entire Justice League and beats them within, 10 minutes. He, with one arm. A lot, because in the comic, one thing that they did was, He's a being. I don't want to get it. It's a long story, but he's underground, and he comes back up, and he's in this containment suit, and he's partially trapped. And as he's coming towards Metropolis, his hands are bound, and he gets one hand loose, and as he starts destroying stuff, the Justice League come and try to stop him, and he's still got one arm tied. And he's kicking all their ass. He destroys the Justice League in just a matter of a couple minutes, and then Superman has to come in and stop him. And yet it's even hard for Superman to even fight this guy. And his the bones. I mean, for you guys that have already seen the movie, the bones on his hands can pierce Kryptonian skin. So I mean, if they would have waited in the next solo film, it would have been more of a gut punch, because it's like, holy crap, this guy can stop the Justice League, and it's hard for Superman to fight this guy, and to see him kill him off, that would have been in a solo movie. I just feel it would have worked better.
Yeah, it may have worked better. In the non-spoilers review, I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. All the stuff that I like about it is the Batman, Wonder Woman, and Lex Luthor is kind of whatever. I enjoyed what I saw, but and what really won me over was not the fight, it was the joining of forces and fighting Doomsday. Is at that last showdown at the end just had me so excited, and all the way to the end. Even with the death of Superman, I felt like it was okay. I mean, like Colin said, they could have waited. I agree with that. I mean, Man of Steel 2, that would have been a good opportunity, a good script for that movie, to get even more attached to Henry Cavill as Superman and kill him off. But I think for what we got, it's good, and Zack Snyder, whether you come back or not, DC Universe is happening, and I feel but like I said, just that last showdown is what really had me happy. And if they wouldn't have had that, I probably would have not gave it as much as a good score because, like, it just that to me, the Batman v Superman actual physical fight was just a little short, but that whole ending is what made me love this movie. Colin, your last overall thoughts?
Like I said, as a true comic book fan and somebody that like adores these characters, and
it's a fun time.
Yeah, you definitely will be entertained. No joke. Yeah, if you want a solid, good movie that you'll just be entertained, yeah. I mean,
especially if you're a fan of any of these characters.
Does the movie have its flaws? Oh yeah,
definitely.
It's not perfect by any means, but there are some things. I mean, like one thing I didn't even touch on was, if you've read The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, great comic, there's a lot of lines that Batman, quotes. I mean, for all you people that are fans, all these little winks and nods towards the comics and the bigger, larger DC universe as a whole, that'll make you smile. And like I said, if you're a fan of these characters, I mean, they represent the characters very well. There's just a lot of holes. There's greatness buried in this movie somewhere.
Yeah.
There's
that's what all the critics say. There's stuff to like, but they just can't get into it. But yeah.
I guess my overall thoughts. Basically what you said. There's greatness buried in there. That's probably the best way to word it for me, because I mean, it's buried under a lot of stuff that's just not good. Like, I mean, there's just a little. It comes up just a little bit. Like I said, I gave it a 4 to 4.5 out of 10, and that's me being really nice. It just makes me feel like not even almost a comic book fan with how much you said that we should be entertained, and it is an entertaining movie. If you just shut your mind off, like I didn't do, I guess. If you just shut your mind off and just try to enjoy like a superhero movie, it's good in that sense.
And there might be stuff like, if I ever see it again, or if the next time I see it is on Blu-ray or whatever, I don't know how I'm going to really do that. But like, if I do see it again, then maybe there's stuff that I'll notice that I rather don't like, or I love more, because like there might be stuff, because like, this kind of happened with Jurassic World. Like, I really love that movie, but when I saw it again, I wasn't like taken in by it as much as that first time, because that first time with the T-Rex and all that, I was just, like, I loved it. But yeah, that's pretty much our spoiler full review.
So thank you so much for watching, guys. This was our spoiler discussion on Batman v Superman.
I'd like to thank Colin for coming on here, because it's a lot of fun.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, you're really awesome.
Yeah, really awesome guy.
Awesome guy.
If you want to learn about comic books,
Yeah,
this guy right there.
guy.
Definitely.